Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So guys, we now know the newest YCS Prize Card. This is the card that you get for, I believe it is a top 4 finish at any YCS event. It was Giant Hand, but they're done giving those away. And I think at Nationals, they give away the prize card as well. So yeah, this is a difficult card to get, but it is a really decent card. It's a Synchro, which that was absolutely shocking to me. The fact that they went to a Synchro. I mean, we're pretty much moving past Exceeds for them to go back all the way to like the 5Ds era. It's like, really? I mean, I know that they're still pushing Synchros and whatnot, like Star Eater and Leo and whatnot, but it was kind of surprising that they picked a Synchro. It's called Ascension The Sky Dragon. It's a light dragon Synchro monster level 10, which is good because we really don't have a lot of viable level 10 Synchro monsters. The attack is question mark, and it has 3,000 defense. It requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters to summon. The effect reads, if this card is Synchro Summoned, it gains 800 attack for each card currently in your hand. When this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, by battle or by card effect, and sent to your graveyard, if all monsters that were used for the Synchro Summon of this card are in your graveyard, you can special summon all of them, but their effects are negated. You can only use the effect of Ascension the Sky Dragon once per turn. So I think this card is really good. I think it's mainly because of its second effect. Now don't take that as I'm saying that the first effect is bad or anything. Actually, it's quite the contrary. The first effect is really good. It's just not quite as practical, in my personal opinion, as the second effect. And you're definitely not going to abuse it as easily. I mean, when the card is Synchro Summoned, it gains 800 attack for each card currently in your hand. I mean, it's better than Tragodia because Tragodia is like 600 if I'm not mistaken. Basically, I would say if you summon this guy and you have 4 in your hand, you're pretty gonna, you're gonna be in a really good position. You know, 3,200 attack for a level 10, that's better than Leo. Now, the interesting thing about this effect is, I believe that you're actually locked into that attack, no matter if the number of cards in your hand like changes or depletes or whatever, because I looked at the text and I compared it to Tragodia, and this card says currently and Tragodia doesn't. So again, you know, if you summon this guy with like 5 cards in hand, his attack will be 4K, and then it's like if you get rid of all 5 of those cards, his attack should stay at 4K. Now, the downside to that effect is, when you summon Ascension back from something like Soul Charge, or you summon him back from the graveyard, pretty much in any way possible that you can think of, his attack is going to be 0 permanently, because his effect will only activate if this card is Synchro Summoned. That's the text verbatim. So, you know, I mean, you can summon him in defense mode because he does have a 3,000 ass, but you're not going to be able to get any real offense out of the card in that situation. Now, I would say that the real beauty of Ascension is the fact that if it's destroyed by an opponent's card and it hits the graveyard, then if you have the materials in there, you can obviously just summon them all back to the field. I mean, it gives you kind of like a nice built-in, you know, like resistance to destruction. I mean, especially when you're playing against the hat deck and you might try and exceed for like a Leo or something, and they're just like, you know, Artifact Sanctum, Martech doesn't target, you just lose your Leo, you probably lost the game. And I like it as just an easy answer to Torrential Tribute, because, you know, most Synchros are susceptible to TT. I mean, you summon them and they get hit with a TT and you're just sad. However, if your opponent uses Torrential on Ascension, which I don't expect to pretty much happen ever, because then you just be able to be like, okay, well, I'll just get everything that I used to Synchro, and then I'll just go into, you know, like another level 10, presumably Leo, because he happens to be probably the only other good generic level 10. Now, I do wish that this card didn't actually have to say this monster you control, because if it didn't, if it just said this monster, then it would work like Grandmaster, Scrap Dragon, or Light and Darkness Dragon, and if the card was like Solemned, or if it was Black Horn, then you could still trigger it, and your opponent would like go neg1, and then you'd be able to get like a free Leo. So it would almost be like the better play if your opponent had any back row. You just go into this guy and, you know, you'd be able to get around like Blackhorn or Warning or pretty much anything that wasn't named Bottomless. Overall, I would say that the card is pretty good. I don't think that it's quite as good as Leo, mainly because, A, you need a decent sized hand when you summon this guy, otherwise you're just not going to be getting that real offense from it. And then I would say B, because if you summon it back from the graveyard, and since Soul Charge is a thing that happens very often, again, the card is locked into 0 attack, so you're pretty much going to have to summon it in defense mode unless you've got like, you know, creature swap shenanigans or something like that. But then if you ran it over, then it wouldn't trigger, so I don't think you'd be able to do that. I think that the card is still going to be really good for Mermail and Mythic Rulers. Those would be the main two decks that I see running it. Possibly Shadows, because I know sometimes they can make like Star Eater. So generally, if you can make Star Eater, you can find some way of making like Leo. Anyways, tell me what you guys think. It sucks that it's going to be super expensive, but overall, still a really, really solid card. It's good to see Konami is still pushing Synchros. Thank you guys for watching the video. Give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't done that already. And again, check out my Kickstarter. Help me get this new mic, this new router, this new stuff that I'm really looking to get to upgrade my channel. We are right about at the 50% mark, and we've got 2 weeks left, guys. I know that we can do it. One guy donated 50 bucks. I was like, oh my God. Thank you guys for watching as always. Subscribing makes life happy.